Man,
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
all good, man. Appreciate you coming on, man. How's everything your way?
Hey, man, but everything's going smooth. Just trying to finish out this last half of the season, and yeah, let's just get right.
Got you, man. Hey, how do you pronounce your last name?
Salinero. It's a Spanish last.
Salinero. Salinero. Okay. Hey, everybody, we got Jake Salinero on here, pro from California, right?
Yes, sir. San
Yes,
Francisco.
San Francisco. You a 49ers fan?
Uh, yes, but that was because my family was. I'm really a Raiders fan, like since like real Bay Area. So yeah.
Got you. Yeah, I got you on that. I got you on that, man. Hey, they got the number one draft pick this year though, so it could get interesting though for y'all. Got some talent though, so
And man,
we'll see though. But like I said, I'm Coach Cloud though, pro scout consultant. Used to be a former college coach, and now I help players with just consulting on court with film work. Also do going helping players go overseas or trying to transfer the job as well. And I seen your IG post about like the scams of overseas basketball,
no,
and that's why I was like, man, I gotta have this guy on, man, because like that people need to hear this information as far as just everyone think they can go pro, but like I said, it's hard and it's not as easy as some of these scams may sound. And basically, just gonna be talking about your career, what led you to become a pro, your upbringing, and kind of start with that. But first, I want to ask you about what's your thoughts on the landscape of sports right now?
it's a crazy world, man. I mean, you have guys. So I'm 28. You have guys close to my age going to college now, guys who've played in like the G, guys who have league experience. You get all of the top European guys that are younger go to the States in college. So I think it's really like a money thing. But honestly, I think it's great for sports. I think in terms of the exposure and the level of competition that people have to acclimate to. I don't think it gets better than this, honestly. Like I'm definitely someone that loves to see a show, and I definitely think that sports is it's a show right now for sure. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's guys like you said, it's 25-year-olds that's trying to play college and they might have 4 years of eligibility, which is crazy to say though. So
Yep.
like I said, it's what's your thoughts on as far as like with high school kids trying to crack in play college ball now?
I wouldn't even pay attention to the rankings, honestly. Like I remember like when I was growing up, I remember seventh grade, sixth grade, I was like, oh shoot, I have to get into these rankings that like I wouldn't even think about rankings. I would really just focus on dominating where I'm at, trying to dominate high school basketball, and then just have it be one step from there. I think a lot of kids are going to have to go JUCO, and which isn't bad at all, honestly, because I'm pretty sure with the new ruling, if I'm not wrong, you get 4 years after that. So it's a great time, to really develop and work on your game. I know there's some high school kids that I knew them growing up, and I used to coach them, and they're all mad about how like, oh, this 24-year-old guy's in front of me, da, 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 like he needs to like graduate and get on with his life. But I think they need that level of experience. I remember playing JUCO back in the day. Like I had 27, 28-year-old teammates who were looking for the same things that I was looking for in terms of a scholarship. So I think that if for a high school kid like right now, I would just focus on development and just dominating my area. I wouldn't even focus on trying to be the number one ranked recruit. I would just focus on dominating.
Most definitely, man. Like I said, I totally agree with you, man. Like I said, most college coaches are only looking for like I guess top 50 or top 100 kids, maybe top 150 depending what they need. But like I said, it's sad though because like I said, you see this freshman class right here in college basketball is dominating so far. So like I said, it really doesn't really like you said, it really doesn't matter if you're good, you good though. As far as right there though, with that being said, but Mel, let's talk about your JUCO experience, man. What JUCO did you go to and what did it teach you?
I attended Skyline College in San Bruno, so it's about 15, 20 minutes from San Francisco. And it just taught me about the grind. So most JUCOs are commuter schools, meaning that the people, like the actual students that go to school there, they're not there to like socialize and like have a good time. They're there to get their degrees and go home. And so there was never a lot going on at campus. And for me, I remember being there from like 8 a.m. It was literally a 9 to 5. Like you're there from like 8 to 5. Workouts, class, obviously too, and you don't have the best of resources. Now we did have pretty good resources where I went to JUCO, but yeah, it's a grind. And on top of it, just the nature of JUCO basketball is it's dog eat dog, including your teammates. Like if there's guys in front of you, yeah, like they're your brothers for sure, but you almost want them to fail so you can get an opportunity, and that's just the nature of JUCO. Whereas at the 4-year level, it changes a little bit because most guys stop there. But yeah, at the JUCO level, everyone's there to get out, so it really just breeds like a very competitive, cutthroat environment.
Yeah, most definitely. I had a kid that I was consulting beginning of the year, like a parent that reached out, and the kid had won. He played JUCO in Kansas, and
Mm-hmm.
he transferred to a JUCO in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. He had averaged about 9 points a game. Had a good freshman year
Yeah,
especially for JUCO freshman, true JUCO freshman, and goes to this JUCO, another JUCO in Cleveland. I guess he thought he had a better, more exposure opportunity going to that prior JUCO, but
yeah,
he didn't end up playing a lot in the beginning of the year. So then he had to kind of basically wasted the year, and just going across the country from Kansas to Ohio. So like I said, in that regardless, like he had a lot of older guys in front of him. But like last year, he didn't have to worry about that. He was just playing, freely, and especially as a true freshman straight out of high school though. So like I think just when you go JUCO, you gotta make sure it's the right situation for you though at the same time, because like you never know.
no, definitely. I mean, I think the situation aspect of it matters a lot. I think when I was younger, I always believed like, oh, if you're like that, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But no, the situation matters a ton. I mean, if kids come in with certain names, um, the coaches usually will kind of lean more towards them, versus sometimes the kids that have been there. And I think also it looks bad from the coach's perspective if they recruit a kid to be someone and that kid's not performing at the level that maybe he or she should. It takes a big ego check to to not continue to play that person and to admit that maybe you recruited wrong, to where I've seen coaches rock out with people who maybe weren't ready for that, just because like they didn't want to have it look bad to where that they recruited the wrong guy.
yeah, most definitely. Like you're right on that one though, because like I said, just being a former college coach, like I used to coach at the Division II level as well, so we would take a lot of JUCO guys, and some schools will just recruit you for enrollment as well though, and that's the
Yeah,
side of the hustle they don't talk about as
for
far as
sure.
getting kids on schools and it sell you a dream. Then you're not even playing. Then they hit you with the JV team. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, most definitely, man. Most definitely. I think that it's very common where if a coach has 4 scholarships to give out, he'll give that scholarship to like 15 people and kind of see who bites, who doesn't bite, and then the guys that do bite, he'll cut that list down even more. So definitely, what you're talking about is not common or not uncommon. Sorry.
for sure, for sure. So man, let's get back into your upbringings, man. Growing up in the Bay Area, man. So how was that though? Like how was your like what inspired you? Like what was what did you like to do outside of basketball growing up? Like what,
Yeah, yeah, nah. So for me, the Bay Area was big basketball culture. Like we had a lot of the mixtape legend guys, like Trevor Dunbar, Kiwi Gardner, all of those guys came from the Bay. Aaron Gordon, all those guys came from the Bay. So I grew up in a time where I got to watch those guys like ahead of me perform and kind of try to mold a lot of my game and the things that I like to do after them. And it was really cool just being around that basketball atmosphere growing up because if just every game was just pure excitement, and to see people from your area go on and like make it, it kind of just let you know that like, hey, if I follow ABC, then maybe I could have a similar trajectory. But yeah, so born and raised, kind of more or less San Francisco, like Bay Area. Um, really didn't have a great high school or college career, but AAU was usually where I shined. I think for me, confidence was always something that I struggled with growing up, because I had a really hard coach in high school, and like I completely lost all my confidence playing in high school. But then I get it back during AAU. So I always knew what I was capable of, but I wouldn't produce when it really mattered, which is the high school season, which led to me not getting like a bunch of offers and stuff. But yeah, in terms of outside of basketball, I was always a 4.0 student. I was in band for 9 years during high school too, so that was pretty crazy. And yeah, I just kind of tried to have like a pretty well-rounded profile in terms of trying to get looked at for colleges.
That's what's up, man. What instrument did you play at?
Alto saxophone, alto saxophone,
Okay,
9 years, marching band. Yeah, it was fun.
that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Hey, that's like I said. I know you had to have some type of talent, though, man. Like I said, I know it's a musical area too as well, though, man.
Not for
That's
sure.
what's up. So, like you said you didn't really have like the best career as far as like stats wise from high school and college. So, like, how did you turn that into a pro career?
Uh, Shoot, I mean, I think the biggest thing was understanding where I had to start. So I was fortunate enough to play Division two. I actually got into Division two because my grades were perfect. Like I literally won the California Scholar of the Year for JUCO, the best student athlete that you could be in terms of like student athlete, whatever. And that allowed me to walk on to Sonoma State, which was my D2 school. Because as you know, in terms of the enrollment, sometimes they'll take kids as walk-ons to boost the team GPA, which helps with boosters and for the team to get money or whatever. And I turned that walk-on spot into a scholarship and starting point guard spot. So grades, if you're working with high school kids and JUCO kids too, grades are one of the most important separators that you could have. Like I think the basketball situation can always kind of change, and it's always subject to coaches, whatever. But you're in control of your grades for the most part, and that can be a huge, huge separator. And it was the reason why I was able to go to my 4-year school and eventually get a scholarship. But the reason why I was able to play pro was because I understood that I had to start low. And so I did a lot of market research. There was a guy who hasn't been as active on social media lately, but I give him all the credit in terms of educating me on overseas basketball. His name's Jose Colorado. He is one of the best like paid consultations that I've ever done. Just really educated me on where I should start. I think the fact that I played Division two holds weight. Even if my stats were like solid-ish. And yeah, I just knew where I had to start, and I found a team in Spain, and I just literally, like, I'm selling my own product, like I'm an entrepreneur. It was email, copy, paste, send to 1 million people, see who bites back, follow up with who did, kind of, yeah.
That's cool, man. Hustling, that's what I like to hear. Somebody, just trying to get their foot in the door for sure, though, man. So definitely
Yeah.
been there before. So, in Spain, man, how was like the transition from playing college to going overseas? How was that for you?
I think the Spanish basketball market's pretty similar to college in terms of like multiple sets. They don't like early shots. One-on-one basketball is kind of frowned upon. I think the hardest part was actually off the court. Like when I first got to Spain, I couldn't speak Spanish. Y ahora hablo español bastante bien. Like I think that I had to really adapt to the culture, and I think that's where a lot of Americans, and this is actually what coaches are most afraid of with rookies overseas, is that they're unable to adapt off the court and they go home. So I've been in places where guys have went home after 1 week because of homesickness. So for me, like especially my first year in Spain, that was more the culture shock, was like not being able to talk to anybody at first. If I wanted to go eat something, I didn't even know how to ask where to go eat something or what there was to eat. You're constantly using Google Translate to look at menus, to try to figure out how to say certain things when you're in a grocery store. And like a lot of that can be really overwhelming. And it was overwhelming, but I just naturally became more and more used to it.
Man, that's spot on, man. I'm glad you said that though, because like I said, that culture shock is
Crazy.
definitely like they can make or break you too, though. That's what they also like. Basketball is basketball, obviously, but
Yeah.
yeah. So what got you through, that first year though? Like this, like, how to stay, mentally ready on and off the court though, like with them barriers and just being that miles away from home as well.
I mean, I was in a very interesting situation my first year in Spain. So I lived in a house with 15 people, um, and they were all within the club, including 5 Americans, I believe. Oh no, four, because one of them was Australian. Um, and we kind of, we kind of almost like trauma bonded, you know, like we were
Yeah,
all
I got you.
like we were all going through like the same stuff, and so it was like we got through it together. Like if one of us had like a bad game or whatever, we'd go out on the weekend and go explore Spain, and like not go out in the sense always like go out to parties or whatever, but just like go out to eat, go to like a nice restaurant, go like I don't know, for Christmas because I couldn't go home because the break wasn't long enough. We all went to Barcelona, like, and we got to like experience a whole different side of Spain. And I think doing stuff like that and having people out there that are going through the similar things as you, is really crucial. That's why I'm so big on whenever I meet other Americans overseas is like connecting with them because like they're going through exactly what I'm going through, you know, and it's not easy for anybody, you know. So yeah, I would say that.
Man, that's big time though. Like right there though. Like when people hear this story, man, it's gonna get a lot of people through like their their time though.
It's
Especially,
hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
connecting though. Yeah, for sure. What were some of your your favorite meals out there in Spain?
In Spain, it's actually around this time. So it's called Semana Santa. It's like a holy week for them, like around Easter. And in every like bakery, they sell these things called torrijas. And torrijas are like it's very similar to French toast, but they put condensed milk on it, and like the sweets in Spain incredible. And then obviously like you have like tapas, which are like really small meals that are cheap, and you can get like a bunch of them for a table. Think like appetizers, like you can get like a bunch of little appetizers, and just like doing those and like having like small coffees with friends. Like that's what's really big actually in Spain is like the social life. Like they have dinner there at like 11 p.m. Midnight sometimes. Like just because they prioritize like social life so much.
So damn, when did they go to sleep out there? Like 6
Like
a.m. or
2 a.m. Like so sometimes, and like I think the hardest part for me was actually when I would go out to like a party or like a club or something like that. Because like back home, stuff starts getting shut around about like 1:30, like 2 max. No,
yeah,
no,
too.
that's when it starts for them. Like they literally go until like 7 8 a.m. and I'm like, man, I gotta go home. Like I can't do this. Like this is crazy. Yeah, like they'll literally go home, sleep, and then come back to the party again. And it's just like I just wasn't cut for that lifestyle. So I usually just keep myself at home and stuff like that.
Nah, that's cool, man. I was in Puerto Rico, man, and they was partying to 6 o'clock in the morning, man. I was like, this is crazy.
Insane, man. No, like I hit a wall like around like 2 because I'm an American, right? So I'm used to like that's my wall where I need to go home. And they're like, no, 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 come on, like keep going. Like, man, I don't know how much more of this I can do. It's crazy, for
Yeah,
real.
man. Most definitely, man. So I got a question though, man. So what is the biggest misconception about overseas money?
Misconception meaning like, oh, super easy. I think that when people hear like monthly salaries, they don't consider what overseas covers. So for example, like many rookie contracts are going to be between 800 to 2K per month. And when people hear that, like people that aren't involved in overseas, they're like, why would you ever do that? Like, how is that even possible? What they don't understand is that usually your housing is covered, transportation is covered, utilities are covered, you have health insurance. Sometimes you get, did I mention transportation? I don't know if I
Yep.
did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Flights are covered sometimes. Like you have all these expenses covered to where it's like if you could find it like an online job or some kind of side hustle, like you probably I actually did the calculations to where it's like if you can pull in about 3K a month playing overseas, you're making essentially close to what people back in the States living in California, if they make almost ish close to 6 figures a month, because they have to pay for rent, they have to pay for all the utilities, they have to pay for all that stuff, and they get hit with the income tax too and state tax. So like it's people don't understand that usually for a lot of overseas contracts, everything's being paid for. So like the money that you get is your money.
Nah, that makes sense, man. So, like, I heard stories that like people would take like a suitcase full of cash, or like,
Yeah.
they do like direct deposits over there as well, or like how's that work out? Or
So I've been fortunate enough to play in all first world countries. I think so. I haven't had to deal with a lot of that. Like usually when teams pay me, it's on time. I've only ever had one instance where a team didn't pay me in full, which we can get to later if you want. But I think that I have heard that happening with my friends who play in third world countries, where they'll hand them like a bunch of cash under the table and be like, "Yeah, take this." So there definitely is like, depending on the market, stuff that goes on where like it's may or may not be legal.
no, I got you on that. Yeah, a lot of under, like sketchy. It's
Yeah,
underground, yeah, a lot of, yeah. That's how it goes sometimes, especially probably in Russia. You never
yeah,
know over there.
exactly.
Right. So what about what separates guys who move up to leagues from guys who stay stuck?
Adaptability, 100%. I think there's so many talented basketball players in the world, and I have so many friends who played D1 who are still back home without a job, and this is where it goes to show you like if you're coming into someone's country, you have to like. I think a lot of Americans, and this is one thing that we struggle with, is that like we're so used to basketball being played a certain way. You know, growing up, we have pickups. Now we have like, we play a ton of one on one. We're used to things being a certain way. Um, and also, when you're the guy back home in the States, a lot is accommodated for you in terms of like, oh, like this is our guy. So everyone kind of steps out the way and moves accordingly. That's not the case overseas. Like, if you go to a market like Spain, you might be the guy on paper, but you're only going to play 26, 27 minutes a game out of a whole 40-minute game. Um, and on top of that, you also have to do it within a system that's the exact opposite of how you're used to playing. So you're not going to get to come down, hezzy pull. You're not going to come down. If the guy goes under the first screen and you shoot it, you have to make it, or else like you're coming out the game. And so like I think a lot of what separates good Americans from others is the adaptability aspect of it and being able to thrive in different markets. Like if you're a one-on-one type of player, markets like Asia or Latin America are going to be more suitable for you. Whereas if you go to Europe or the Oceania region, like Australia, New Zealand, they're going to prioritize more the team game in terms of having multiple options, multiple sets. Now, granted, certain countries are kind of different from one another. Like, so for example, I would say Luxembourg, the country that I'm in, is more of a scorer's market where the Americans will do most of the playmaking and scoring. But generally, that's kind of how it follows. And so I would always tell people to go to the market that best suits you.
Most definitely, man, for sure, man. That's good. That's good stuff right there. How political is overseas basketball? Like far as
And crazy. This is a great question. I mean, I think there's like, so as big as the United States is, you have to think that the majority of European countries are way smaller than that. And the basketball ecosystems within those countries are also way smaller than that. So there's a very high chance somebody knows somebody, like 7 degrees of separation. And so the last thing that you want to do as an American player is like piss off your GM or be hard to play with because that travels really, really fast. And I've seen guys who are more than capable, guys who have second passports, which I think is the easiest way to play overseas as an American, not get jobs because they are for whatever reason called as like either selfish or just not great people to be around. And then like that's where the politics aspect come in, where it's also hard too. Like I think elevating from certain leagues, a lot of it can depend on age too. Like the older you are, the harder it is. Even if you're killing, like I've had friends who are older, and maybe average 20 plus and won the league, but they didn't get selected to move up because they didn't have the right like profile, so to speak, for the team. Um, So that's kind of where, as like a pro, like you can't get caught up in that. I mean, it's hard not to, but all you can do is what you can control. And it's like if you're playing the best that you can and you're trying to win, then everything else will just be everything else.
I'm definitely on that, man. Well said. Like I said, I know it get real tricky with that profile situation stuff because you may have the stats, play in the
It's,
right country, and look like nah. We won't. So that's it
yeah,
may have their God. So yeah, that's it. That's just like in the job market too, though. Regular job market.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many similarities. It's such an interesting parallel. I talk to my mom about this all the time because like what she deals with in her job is exactly the same as what I deal with in my job, but I'm playing a game for a living.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah, politics is politics wherever you go. And that's what players on all levels need to understand though too though. Like you said, Americans like we kind of entitled, especially
yeah,
when it comes to basketball or in sports in general though. And that's why a lot of guys fail because they've been entitled their whole life. Then you face with some adversity, you don't know what to do. Like, whoa, what's this? Like, hold on, I ain't never had this way. Like you said,
yeah.
it's a lot of talented players back at home playing it, playing runs.
No, seriously, yeah, or like
Yeah.
ABA or like TBL, and like there's a lot of talent in those leagues. It's just
Hmm.
um, and what's unfortunate about overseas basketball is that generally, especially in Europe, they don't really respect the film or stats from those leagues. But there's some guys that can really go,
Yes,
like,
yes,
can
100%.
really go in the ABA and the TBL that just need an opportunity.
Yes.
Um, so like that's always tough.
And, and that's politics by itself. Like you just said, we think they're dogs. You're like, damn, what y'all looking at like? And you're
Yeah,
going to get some you're not going against any bums. Like they hungry. So
yeah,
it's
no,
like the JUCO of pro basketball, really
it really
like
is.
the TVL.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. All right. How important is it to have the right representation?
I think that for higher leagues, it's make or break. I think I've seen guys get in spots maybe they didn't deserve necessarily resume wise because they had the right representation. For lower leagues, entry leagues, and even some mid tier ish leagues, I don't think you need an agent. I mean, I've signed 3 out of 4 of my deals without an agent. So I think that the biggest thing is your network and how you are promoting yourself. Like I said earlier, you become the product that you're promoting, and so making sure that your social media looks good is clean, you know, and also consistently broadening like your network. So, for example, last year when I was playing in Germany, I really wanted to play in Pro B, which was the next division higher. Um, and I networked with all those coaches, reached out to all of them, and unfortunately, none of them were interested in me. They kind of already had their import players, so it's like I wasn't even in the conversation to be picked. But I made great connections with them, and to this day, like I can still talk to them, and I can still like even if they don't choose me, like they'll listen to me if I'm like, hey, I know a guy, you know what I mean? And so, and then also now with me playing in Luxembourg and having a pretty good season so far, like I could throw my name back in the hat again,
Yeah,
So
for sure.
like it's like really about who you know as you continue to grow. More so than I would say the agent side of things. Like the agent side of stuff for higher leagues, 100%. You need one absolutely, but lower mid tier, I don't know.
Got you on that for sure though, man. Because like I said, just because you didn't landed that power season, hey, you a better player now, more wiser, and now
Yeah,
they might, all right, let's we think you're ready to go now. So that's you just
yeah,
never know with off them
exactly.
connections. That's
Yeah.
what's up, man. How has social media changed recruiting overseas?
Oh, I mean it's huge. I mean, I'll tell you right now. So I'm a part-time agent for this agency called Fully Feared Sports, and when we send players to agents or teams, we send them the their film, their Eurobasket and their height. And so just those like 3 things we're sending. And so like making sure that players have high quality film, which oftentimes they'll use through social media, and is the way to connect. I think is huge. And also speaking on that too, I actually signed my deal this year because I connected with a coach in Luxembourg 2 years ago through Instagram
Right.
trying to play for his team, and like it didn't work out, and like but he's also Filipino like me, so we kind of bonded there, and yeah, we've built this really great friendship. And then he knew a team in Luxembourg that needed a guy, and he was like, I know a guy named Jake. Next thing you know, I'm on my way to fly there for tryout. I make the team. So leveraging social media for relationships, as well as like your own profile, I think I couldn't say more on it.
Would you say that's the most important thing for especially like for because I know a lot of guys like just from like a D2 or like really NAIA, like kind of like the lower levels, and like man, they want to play ball, man. They want to play ball so bad, and I kind of like tell them like, hey, go to an entry level league. Don't just try to go for the the highest league, leverage yourself the right way, like you said.
No, I mean, I think a lot of guys don't understand like the tier aspect of overseas basketball. Like they'll 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 turn down jobs because they don't think because like they think they're too good. I mean, and like they might be too good, but they haven't proven that they're too good. So I think that's always the biggest thing too is like you get guys that don't understand that it's just like the real world. Like you have to start at the bottom if you didn't have the greatest college career, or even if you did have a great college career, like sometimes you still have to start a little lower to prove like, hey, I can really do this. And like I said, with a lot of overseas coaches, one of the big boxes that they check is, can this American actually last a whole year overseas? Because a lot of guys can't.
Right.
The average overseas career, I believe, is like 1 or 2 years max. And
Mm-hmm.
it's because like guys go overseas, they get homesick. If they have a relationship back home, usually that's strained. Everything that they held near and dear to them back home is stripped from them all of a sudden. And it's like, how do you respond? And can you produce in that environment? Can you produce when you have nothing of comfort? And that's usually where guys falter.
Man, for sure, man. And now we can talk about like the scams of of the game. Like I said, a lot of people get scammed. I remember I had a guy. He said, I paid like $1,000 in London just to get to this Kent, and the Kent got canceled or something like that, or
Yeah.
the film there was no film, or just like stories like that I see on Instagram. And I met personally a friend of mine that kind of had to go through that social media route, and he had to play I want to say second league in London. I mean
Yeah.
not London, United Kingdom. And
Yeah.
like I said, but he had got scammed a couple of times, but finally he had found it like a good deal.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's one of those things that unfortunately, it almost seems like we all have to go through unless you went to like a good D1 school and had good stats. Um, I think just doing your market research, man. I think understanding what leagues are entry level leagues. Like if you played NAIA basketball and you averaged like 10 or less, you're not going to get a 4K per month job. Like that's not going to happen your first year. Now you could build, you know what I mean? And like eventually land that 4K job for sure, 100%. Actually, I would say most of the really good players that I know overseas actually came from like D2, D3. Um, but like I just think that the biggest scams are always going to be like large money up front. Either you're giving the person large money up front or you're expecting to receive large money up front if you pay them like a consultancy fee. The consultancy fee stuff, like if I would say for like 99% of organizations, if they ask you for an upfront consultancy fee, you are not getting that money back. Like, like through and through. The only organization that I know of, and this isn't even me trying to pitch my own organization, but I just work within the organization, is that at Fully Feared, we do offer a consultancy, and I have seen it. I have seen us sign guys through it. So I think that, but I've also paid for other people's and lost a lot of money. Well, not too much, but I've lost money. I've lost money doing that 100%. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like I said, because it's people don't realize how hard it is to place players on
Hard.
as an agent, and like especially when you're trying to place yourself. 'Cause like being a former coach, you're your own agent as well too. Or some now in today's game, a lot of people have agents in the higher level, but like
Yeah.
you a young coach or young player, man, you got to kind of find a way to make yourself marketable.
Yeah.
So that's the in that aspect.
Not
So yeah.
literally. Like,
Uh, what you about to say?
sorry.
My bad. No, you can
No,
go. My bad.
I was just gonna say, like, that's exactly what it comes down to is that you're pushing your own brand and your willingness to kind of step out of the box of it all and like really push yourself that's usually the guys who make it.
Yeah, most definitely, man. So you got any like other businesses you want to promote or like other Instagram pages? We like to support all business whatever our guests got on got going on. We like to support it. So, people can see it, gain traction as well.
No, I mean, well, first off, thank you. I mean, I think Fully Feared Sports. I think that agency we've placed over 100 guys all over the world over the last year. I've personally helped place 2 guys in Europe this past season. Also, I do have a fitness page that I've been starting, to help people like improve their athleticism. It's just my last name, Salinero, and then Fit. But I think the biggest thing is, and this just goes out to your whole audience, I think that understanding the market about where, like, get in where you can fit in and then grow from there, I think is so crucial and huge. And also, if you're playing college, this might be a very hot take right now, but I stand by it because I know this is what gets guys signed. If you have dreams of and aspirations of playing professionally, it is 100% stats over winning in college. Unless you win like the national championship or something like that. But if you don't win the national championship, 10 times out of 10, an overseas team is going to take the overseas player that played on a not very good Division 2 or 3 team that averaged 20 than the guy that played even out of Division 1 but averaged 5.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
and so I think that can be a hard dynamic to kind of go about because depending on your role on the team, yeah, it quite literally is selfish, honestly. Like, right? But you also have to understand too that if you have dreams bigger than the current institution and your teammates aren't on the same level with that, then it is in my opinion, it's your right to chase those dreams as anybody should want to chase being the best version of themselves, So that's always my like advice to guys who have 1 or 2 more years left in college is like, sure, definitely try to win, but you better make sure that your production's there. If you're not at a Division 1 school, like you got to average at least 15 plus.
For sure. Like I said, I'm glad you said that because, like I said, when I'm usually scouting, like especially like D2 players, like 'cause I used to coach D2, and people don't realize how good D2 basketball is. Like,
It's tough, bro. Yeah,
oh my
really
gosh,
players.
some of the best basketball you gonna see really in the world for real. Like, it be
Yeah,
high scoring games, not as athletic, but like just like man, it's like have you heard of West Liberty?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I used to coach in the league with West Liberty, Fairmont State. So like, man, they averaging NBA numbers like 120 a
yeah.
game. So like, just
No,
imagine that in college. So yeah,
100%.
so yeah, yeah.
I've
And
always I've always said that Division 2 is just small Division 1. Like
yes,
if you just took the guys and just made them smaller, that's what Division 2 is. Like at the guard position, this I feel like the skill set's more or less the same. It's just the Division 1 guard 6'4", and
right.
the D2 guard's like 6'1" or 6 foot.
But can score it all pound for
Yeah,
pound. Yeah,
yeah,
one of
but
the
can
best.
score, can do all that. So yeah.
Yeah, I had a guard. He ended up playing Denmark his first year. He averaged 20 back-to-back years shooting over 38% from three, man. And that's in D2. So that's elite anywhere. So
That's
you can't
elite.
beat that.
Yeah, no, seriously. That's tough.
And I got one more question for you, man. What's your thoughts on this, man? Because sometimes I get a lot of players that has like a gap year. So how do guys come back from gap years? Or what is too long of a gap year?
I mean, well, having one gap year is going to be tough. I think a lot of it is what was your resume beforehand. I think the hardest gap year to overcome is actually the rookie gap year. Is it like if you don't get signed in your rookie year, then why would an overseas team? They would just want like if you average 17 at a, let's say, like even at a D2, and then you had a gap year, why would they choose you when they could just sign someone who just averaged 17 out of a Division 2? Like logically, like that kind of makes sense. So I think the biggest thing for gap year guys is self-investment. Like you might have to 100% fly out and go try out for a team. and you might have to go do all the combines, like the good ones. And it's going to be a harder road, but I don't think that your road's over by any means. Like I know guys who've taken a year off and come back and played, and I think, and like I've seen guys go on to have great careers after gap years, but I do think that it takes strategy, it takes planning, and it definitely takes self-investment. And so I wouldn't lose hope. I wouldn't say that your career's done if you get a gap year, but it's going to take some navigating for sure.
Sure, man. Like I said, man, appreciate you having on, man. Like I said, everybody go follow his page. And if you're a player that need help and got good stats, hit him up, man. Like I said, man. So appreciate you again, though, man. And best of luck this season too as well, man. When how long is your season? Until May or
Yeah,
June or okay,
finish,
May, yeah.
we finish early May, so
Okay.
I'll be here for the next couple months.
Okay, man. Like I said, man, best of luck, man, and just keep doing your thing, man. And I'm a big fan of your work online, man, too, man. So
Thank you.
keep putting out good content, man. You're doing your thing, man, for sure, man.
That's love, brother. Thank you for real.
All right, man. No problem, man.
Yep.